So let's talk about Nicolas Cage. Nicolas himself refers back to a lot of German expressionistic films such as Metropolis or Nosferatu. You can see those grandiose, very overdone expressions and body movements. You can see these in some of his performances such as Moonstruck, Vampire's Kiss, Mandy, Face Off. In one interview, Nicolas Cage talks about a scene in Mandy where he tries to emulate a certain shot of Bruce Lee in one of his classical films, where it's really close up on the face and the facial expression is just, out of this world. He's really influenced by the operatic vocals and over-the-top facial expressions that kind of feeds into his rhythmic and musical acting style. Along with that, he has maintained an impressionistic approach to most, if not all, of his films. In his award-winning performance as Ben in Leaving Las Vegas, he refers back to a lot of his favorite alcoholic-induced performances, such as Lost Weekend and Days of Wine and Roses. He even went as far to study a professional alcoholic. He was not drunk on the set of Leaving Las Vegas, or he says he wasn't, so that's why he refers to it as an impressionistic performance. He also did this for adaptation. He studied Charlie Kaufman and recorded some of their conversations together, and he used that within his performance of adaptation. Nicolas Cage says he's always striving for what he calls a Super 8 feeling. It's this nostalgic memory of recording videos in his backyard with loved ones, having pure freedom in what they create, and making a video or film just for the love of it, not for the money or the awards, just because they can and because they want to. Cage says he really valued his time on the set of Mandy with Panos Cosmatos because he got that Super 8 feeling while being on the set. His character Red was so real to him, having dealt with a deep loss in his actual life, set them up for effortless shots that felt natural and honest for the both of them. Nicolas Cage is also really known for feeding off the energy of his crewmates and fellow actors. He recalls back when he was on the set of Ghost Rider, he was doing these shamanic rituals that would get everyone get himself into this dark, chaotic mood, and then he would go on to the set and carry on with that. And he said a lot of the times the other actors or crewmates will, just kind of be horrified. He even mentioned he had painted his face. I wouldn't really necessarily call that an intimidation factor, but it was creating an authentic feeling of chaos and putting everyone into this truly dark world that you can see in Ghost Rider. You can see Nicolas Cage as Red, feeding off the maniacal energy of Jeremiah Sand, the cult leader in Mandy, that lays out before him, pressing him into this total grief and loss that evolves into rage and revenge, chainsaws and all, Or in Face Off, Travolta and him had to basically absorb each other's mannerisms and become one another. They had to push each other to the edge that Nick so loves to stand on of just unadulterated, out-of-control expressionism. Both actors taking on a musical relationship that mirrored one another. I've always seen Nicolas Cage as a very methodical and thoughtful performer, knowing that he studies his roles in such depth while diving into the headspace of who he is trying to portray only solidifies my prior beliefs of him. His impressionistic acting style creates authentic and naturalistic chemistry. His punk rock and jazzy attitude creates these rough edges in his acting style that kind of sets him aside from other actors in modern film. Especially going back to that German expressionistic style that he loves and uses in his performances often. Whether the film is successful or not, it is inspiring to see someone who is striving for that Super 8 feeling that he says. He continues to create and act for the love of it, and in that sentiment, I maintain my respect for him. Thank you.